But maybe that will change as we move into Inferno. As mentioned, Alexi B today seems to be having a good time. We'll see if he can carry that form into Inferno. If he does, we are like to think that it's going to be quite troublesome for Heroic, who now must win this map to stay in the series, to force a third map, which would be Mirage. And if we got there, that would be awesome. I hope that we do, but it's going to be a hell of a job for Heroic against what OG are bringing into the server right now. And as we move into Inferno, it's going to be very interesting to see who starts off with the advantages. And got some little CS Summit 6 CRTs lurking around the map. But it'll be OG on the T side. Let's see what they got.
Is it a good time to say that Alexi B looks like my nephew? Is that a weird thing to say?
All right.
I'll see if I can
Well,
get a picture.
it doesn't matter because you said it, whether it's a good time or a bad time. OG charging into the B bomb site with the Glocks, and Borup's going to get taken out through the smoke. NBK isn't going to last long in this round, and well, there was a player at the back of this fight, and now there isn't. It's been overwhelmed by OG players who have a man advantage as the bomb gets planted.
4 versus 3, so they're in a really favorable spot in terms of the numbers, but the numbers quickly change, as they often do. Issa with a nice tap there, but it's all on Issa. Nice trades coming through. 1v1 against Mr. Tessus, who is just standing his ground on the lip of the fountain, of the well, whatever the hell that thing is. Fountain? Is it a fountain?
Yeah, it looks like a fountain.
And he'll get DQs. Lovely.
Just tell me, does this look like him? Come on. Does it look like him?
Yeah, I guess a little bit. Yeah.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Do you think it looks like him?
No.
Really?
He's just white with blondish hair.
Maybe so.
That's about it.
Let me
The
find a
facial
better-
structure is a little different.
I mean, he is a bit younger than him.
Yeah, he looks childish.
I mean, he's like 11 or 12.
Maybe that's why he looks different. Maybe once he fills it out.
But he doesn't say, maybe that's it. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Get the world's opinion on Twitter or something. See what they think.
Tag it. Hashtag CS Summit.
Oh, yeah.
Follow along with the action on Twitter as well. Tag your posts.
Ooh. See you later, Alexi B.
Make sure to get that one in.
I tried.
All right, this hero buy is not really working out for OG. It didn't look like they had a really strong game plan going into at least this round. Just kind of spreading out into a pretty simple default of sorts. Cadian, though, is challenged. He does a lot of damage, but isn't able to pick up any frags, and that might make things a little bit difficult here for the rest of his team. But they do have 2 players still in pit, very strong position to defend from, but it forces a reaction out of the B player. Stown, rotating towards CT spawn, is now picked off. 3v3 situation, and OG, they do look to converge on this A bomb site. But thankfully for Heroic, this is where 2 of their players lie in wait. Tessus and Nico. But what is that? Valde and MBK pick them both off as they try to make an aggressive play up porch. And this is looking like a round win for OG.
That seemed like a misread of some kind. For them to try to go aggressive right there seems like they thought something else was happening for them to make that call. So I don't know if it's like a miscom communication or what that was, but that, considering that...
I think they felt vulnerable to Long because they had no one there. So they were throwing a flash towards Long, perhaps to show some presence in case there was a rap or anything.
Because it looked like they were trying to leave the pit, like all of them, right?
Yeah, they probably thought they needed to help out the B guy and make the info play at the bomb site with 2 players instead of leave the guy who's solo by himself at B, because it would be a pretty tough effort from Borup to try to lock that down by himself. And you'll see that sometimes in a 4v4 where the A players will just push porch, but in a 3v3 it's a lot scarier.
Yeah, it seemed like even if they expect that they're going to get attacked, even if it is from the long position, that they would just want to hold position and just try to delay for their teammate to rotate in to help them.
Delay.
Yeah, that's an odd one.
Yeah, that was a weird reaction from Heroic. It's probably something they've done before, but never in a situation such as that. And we can see that it just may not have been the perfect call.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Heroic's going to win that round outright just because of their position in the pit and how low the OG players were. Then again, Heroic can't see the players like we can on the good old Go TV.
We'll see if they can find some kind of a recovery. They've got some aggression here in the apartments. MBK will take some damage, but he's got some teammates to help him out. That said, Nico swings from the apartments. And that's going to completely catch OG off guard. I think they already spotted 2 players, so they were not expecting that third, I suppose. Reactive smoke here from Storm. Will they try to push this? Looks like Storm will retake the grounds. Finds out they don't push it.
Oh,
good
my
read.
goodness.
Oh, very good read. That's good game knowledge right there.
Valde just started tapping the keyboard. It's like, oh my god, how does he know? Why is my timing the same as his? And we can see that Heroic will slightly spread back towards the A bomb site with Borup, who has a flashbang, which could come into use if OG go towards short, for example, for Tessus to make a play. Could have a pop flash, but I think that is likely to happen. Whereas I can't imagine Tessus is going to try and fight to the death here, but Borup moving closer. There we go, nice headshot. And again, that flashbang can still come into play, though. It's a lot more awkward now for Borup. He's not going to deploy, just play the bait instead. Valde with a crouch peek, he was so close, a little faster, and Valde smoked there. 2-1-3, low health for OG, at least for Valde. They're in a lot of trouble. They've got a crossfire, but they're completely blind, and the CTs are just not getting the kills. But Mantu now 15 HP versus 2. He was close, but not close enough.
Deagles. Deagle all about it.
They get the bomb down though, so that's obviously going to be another buy coming out from OG. They're going to have so much pressure on the economy of Heroic.
I'm just surprised that they fell back from B, because we saw that Issa spotted 2 players at the A bomb site, and B, as T side taking B on Inferno, I don't think is as bad as to run into 2 people at B, obviously because you have nades, you have flashes. Everyone knows pretty much all the utility that you have to toss. And it's just fundamentally just almost like textbook to be able to take B, you know, especially in those kind of situations.
Gotta trust your B takes on this map. That is for sure. Well, utility battle at Banana goes the way of Heroic. They're able to gain that ground and even find a kill through the smoke. Stown starting things off nicely with the 5v4 advantage taken. Still, looks like OG are more interested in the A site. Wow, a fast porch play coming out from them, actually. And they're already on the bomb site in a blink of an eye. And they completely catch Heroic off guard here. This is such a strong play from them. And the nade on top, it's just icing on the cake.
Still a couple players left though for Heroic. Well, to see if they're able to find something. It's always a difficult retake into the A site of Inferno, especially with some of this post-plant utility, but that's the last of it really in terms of smokes and mollies. Oh, bro, straight in there, looking to attack the pit player. It's going to be Storm who gets the trade, but there's still 2 left to go. And one of the positions is certainly unknown. You can see he's a little bit suspect of the flank, but he will try to get out of there, holding onto his AK, respecting the fact that without the information, he doesn't have a chance in this one. And OG will convert off of that force buy. And this sort of tug-of-war battle, it doesn't really benefit the CTs to be in a tug-of-war for a prolonged period of time. And the war of attrition will certainly favor OG. Looks like, in fact, the money is indeed pretty much gone for Heroic. So OG have a strong position to take momentum in this game now.
And even though saying that Heroic decides to force buy this up, they saved a rifle from last round, so going to buy behind it, buy the time.
Oh, look at this play down mid as well. There's wild aggression coming in, but Mantu seems to be ready for it. He's got Valde in position as well to immediately trade, and AK will be collected. And that really just neutralizes his entire round, more or less. Storna has a lot to do, as well as Borup. And we've seen a lot of Ecos won, Force Buys won, a lot of Deagle headshots from a multitude of players. And also, we've seen teams overplay their advantage. I can't imagine OG slip up here, though. Can all just walk together and trade frag versus only 2 players. There's only so much that can go wrong at this point, surely.
I was going to say that I feel like this is one of those spots where I see a lot of teams get really ahead of themselves in terms of focusing so much on just like trying to force buy and keep pressure up and forgetting they're on the CT side sometimes. Because let's say there's, I think it's fine what Heroic did, but I think there's just a lot of risks with it. So as long as you understand that, it's okay. But they're in a position now where if they would have sort of just full saved in the rounds, they have a full buy with everything they want in the following rounds, and they can immediately get on top of OG before OG get a find that momentum, and they can run a full gun round. But now they're in a spot where are they going to buy around these 2 save guns? If they do, they're not going to have a proper buy. They're not going to have an AWP. They're going to be in a spot where if they lose that round, then they do need to save. And then before you know it, so many rounds have passed, and we have yet to have one single full gun round from Heroic for them to find their footing. And the problem with that is that you win the game on the gun rounds ultimately. And if you don't play enough gun rounds against the other team, you're always on these like weird buys, you never really know how those rounds are going to go. And that's also a problem. Because when you do get that momentum, you're going to be playing the gun rounds, and you haven't figured out the tendencies of your opponent yet. So it just puts you in like an awkward spot.
Yeah. It also just throws out the game plan.
Yeah.
Because no one's game planning to have a scrappy game. No one's saying,
exactly,
this is how we're going to play 4 or 5 different force buy rounds. It's just they maybe outline 10 gun rounds that they want to run, or could be even more. It depends how long the team's been together. But at the best, usually these teams have maybe 4 or 5 force buy kind of plays, and usually you don't even want to run a play half the time. You want to run a default. So yeah, it's a tough look if you're on the CT side, especially quick scale from the side of OG. Look to clean things up. Borup actually does great damage here, which makes this somewhat doable. 2v2 situation now all of a sudden. And Cadian and Tessus have some upgraded pistols. Tessus came up huge with the Deagle just a few rounds ago from that pit position primarily, and he's able to get an AK on top of that. This is really scary for OG.
Yeah, you're right. This is very, very doable. The issue is that where are these players positioned? Tessa's looking for that pit position first. That's what you're most afraid of. And you're not, that graveyard angle is a little less common in these 2-man setups. And that's going to catch off Tessa's. And that is going to force Cadian to save here, which is absolutely the right call with no assistance, no Kevlar, nothing, no kits. And okay, so it's gonna be a 4-2, and
wait. He has to run.
Why is he not
He has to
moving?
run. He has to run.
He's got no armor.
Yeah. Oh no.
He's got no armor. Cadian, man.
Oh
Yes.
man.
What is you doing?
I trusted him. I trusted him for a second. I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess he's fine. It's like, why is he?
The plant was at the wine position.
Vino plant.
Yeah, the
No.
Vino plant.
Where's the focus?
Oh man.
Where's the focus?
Wait,
eh?
he might
Where's
not
the...
know that though, right? He might not know
Where's
that.
the
You could
Adderall
hear
at,
it
man?
close to you though. You
I
can.
guess
He must have just thought it was a default plant, not the Vino plant.
He
Then.
had to have thought that.
Yeah.
No, man. No excuses. There's directional sound in this game. There's no excuses for that. He should be alive.
Should be.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
He's got an MP9 now. He's got an MP9.
And
It's like he's been downgraded to a toy store.
And this is what we're talking about. We're in round 7, and we still haven't we still don't see a full buy for Heroic. We still don't see any round in which they can play an AWP just yet.
Yeah.
no
so-
kit, no utility.
Oh.
Tell me some good news.
Oh man.
That's not some good news. That's a travesty.
OG are looking to run away with this game now. This is not boding well for Heroic at all. Their money is shot. They're on a saving a FAMAS. That's such a feels bad.
So one thing we were talking about is like how the awkwardness of if you're force buying and creating those kinds of spots for yourself because you're trying to take advantage of the economy and the fact that maybe your opponent's in like a weakened position economically speaking, all that kind of stuff. And you added a really good point to that, Alex. And I remember years ago when I was talking to Threat like 5 years ago about the theory of like making the game plans and the theory of like playing out an effective game of Counter-Strike. It's his philosophy was always about maximizing the amount of buy rounds that you get, because the whole point is that when you practice and prepare, just like you were saying, you should be at your most confidence to win a round when you have a full gun round. And it's much because of what you were saying, because you actually get to play out your game plan because you have everything to work with, and your AWPer gets to play with an AWP. And that's another big thing. Like, if your AWPer is an AWPer and that's his identity and that's where he gets a lot of his work done, and he's stuck on rifles the whole game, that's also an awkward position to be in.
Just have setups that are based around that op. Rotations, lit styles that you like to play. There's so much pressure you can create with that gun that allows your rifles to not have to burn their utility so quickly as well, because you're okay with taking those 50-50 fights, given that you're on the op. And even in scrims, when people play them, they'll generally just say, if they're on a, say, 3.5K purchase, a lot of teams would even opt to half buy, but some teams just say, you know what, screw it. We just throw this round away and just get us a full gun round. Like, yeah, so it's all going back to that game plan and how teams are not really preparing for the scrappy rounds. There might be some little play.
Avant-garde work. Avant-garde.
Sanji,
They had plays on Inferno on the T side specifically where you'd have Sanji flying out of the boiler with Mac 10, and also on like the CT side of Mirage with the MP9 around a short pillar. They had these by design when it was necessary, so they actually planned for those rounds when that's a situation you're in, which I imagine most teams don't do, which I loved about that team.
It does show a level of depth. And that's a nice little way to get that rifle involved from Borup, but it looks like OG are moving now towards the A bomb site, away from that hero rifle. They'll be greeted by Nico on the Deagle. He has to get it done here. There's a smoke actually to stop the OG players, but they just run on through it, and he's not able to find anything. Cadian does get one and maintains great position towards this apartments, but this is such a tall order.
These positions really suck for the T's. They're stuck in the side. There's no... Actually, there is a molly on Storm. So if he knows a molly lineup here onto the side, it doesn't even matter. It's going to take away so many positions. It looks really good here now for the retake of Heroic. Just Valley left in the 1v2. Now, do they know where he is? They seem to have a good idea. They're starting to spam, and indeed, they're going to find him. All stuck on the bomb site there. That's actually very surprising that this works out for Heroic. I just want to point out that Heroic have still not had a full buy in this half just yet.
Yeah, pretty undesirable post-plant position by OG. I think if they had maybe some people in pit, that was definitely a round win for OG. It's just too awkward having 3 people in the bomb site. As you can see, one Molotov pretty much disrupts anything that they have set up. So I doubt that they'll make this mistake again.
Yes.
And there you go, first full buy for Heroic. 9 rounds in.
I think this, if Alexi B hopped to go to pit instead of hopping on top of the haystack, I think that was pretty much the mistake of that pick.
All right, Kerrigan smoke coming out.
Battle on.
Yeah. Oh, this is... Sorry, James.
Sorry.
Yeah, kind of walking over each other there.
No forgiveness from James.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, four people on the mics is...
You can't see it.
Yeah. We're doing pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah.
I think we're doing pretty well. It could be a lot worse. Well, we've got a 2 versus 2 now on that B bomb site. Cadian is close enough. Nico, though, needs to successfully make it there as he's the only man with a kit. Maybe there's one on Banana, however. Fadeaway flashbang from Cadian to show presence one way and scope in the other. Got Nico creeping as well. It's got a few grenades, but the AK, the M4 rather, will be the most important piece of equipment. Mantu now also scoped in 1 versus 2. He's got a molly that he could use for the bomb, but there's so much time left that it would only shortly delay things. But now Heroic are taking their time to get onto that bomb. Well, the smoke will negate that. Does he go for the wall bang? Cajun's just running. Where's he off to? Someone's got to get on the bomb. He's Nico on the bomb.
Oh!
He's got no kit, so that makes sense. But it's a crazy 2 no-scopes from Mantu. It's all over the shop.
What a madman.
Dancing around them. Styling on those fools.
That's actually the right move to do in that situation, because they expect him to fall back after the shot, but he went forward.
In the smoke. He became the smoke. This is so weird.
Oh, man. I was wondering if Heroic were even going to throw that smoke, because I've seen that happen so many times where that extra smoke in a 1v2 just gives that guy a chance to spam the diffuser, especially if it doesn't go deep enough. If it's on the bomb, he can play around that smoke in such a fashion that... Man, there's a lot of pro highlights, actually, with people playing around the smoke that the CTs actually throw on the bomb, just like that. It's so unfortunate that it happens there for Heroic. That was their first gun round, and now they're on this.
See you later.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. They did a good job actually trading out the kills on Banana as well, and it is a pretty marginal situation. So that is a shame that the clutch does not work out for them. Alexi B will be flash forwards. Oh, deleting Bora up there. No helmet. It's just easy work for that Mag 10. Alexi B opening things up nicely, and Tessa's with the Deke is going to get caught in the side before he can escape. And it looks like this round is going to go to OG because it's already a save here for Heroic. OG really controlling right now, everything right now, and again, it kind of goes back to the lack of full buys and the fact that Heroic haven't really ever had the ability to have control because they've never had the amount of utility that is necessary for that.
Can we point out for Alexi B that he also did this in the previous Inferno match? Is he'll buy a Mac 10 and he has like $6,000. Look at him, he has $9,000 in a Mac 10.
Situational Mac 10 on Inferno, I'm very much a fan of.
Yeah,
Good spawns, some good flashes, a lot can be done.
yeah. I think James RL, he was when he played a lot of CS on his team on this map specifically. I remember he's a Mac 10er on T-side Inferno. He loves to work the apartments and house, and I think he actually beat the old Immortals team, like with FNX and all of them on this map, like 2 years ago. And he was just Mac 10, and I gave him a high five.
There's a lot of spots where the CTs try to fall back, but they don't actually expect the timing that the Mac 10 allows you to scale with, and so you actually can catch CTs on as they rotate behind. Like they take a shot, fall back, and you can catch them out of position.
Also, if you're low on money, CTs will opt to not get head armor.
Yeah.
So they get more utility and a better gun.
It's so good around the smokes too, like close range around the smokes in those aggressive setups. There's so much you can get out of the Mac 10. Definitely agree with you guys on that one. And it's actually insane because we've only seen one 4x from Heroic, right? This half, that means?
Pretty much.
That's insane. That's actually insane. You're on the CT side, you've got one 4x on the CT side of Inferno.
And that's the dangers of, as you said earlier, keep force of buying a CT.
Yeah.
We've seen it a couple times where CTs are starting off like 0 and 5 because of this.
Yeah. They had a spot. There was a spot, we called it when it happened. There was a spot where they could have chosen not to force buy, and then their money would have been like, everything would have made sense in terms of where their money would have been. But it's just they just went one force buy too much. I think it's one of those things where like you have to remember that the CT money is more important than the T money. And so if you're trading evenly in the tug of war of force buys, if you're on the receiving end of it after like 4 or 5 rounds as a CTs, and you just lost your force your buy round to a force buy, you have to just be like, okay, we actually need some buy rounds in this half, so we have to actually just give it up right now. Just like give that to them so that we can play our game. And I think there's a lot to be said for like playing your game. Like there's a lot of teams that have I forget who we interviewed. Actually, you know what? I think it was one of the Godsend players who was basically telling us that we over prepared in the sense that we were playing too much in terms of countering our opponent, and we were not focusing on our own game, and this really created problems for us. This is a very common issue that happens because it can be hard to know how to draw the line between playing your game as most effectively as you can versus trying too much to counter stuff that the opponent, tendencies that the opponent has. And on this map, you really got to play to your strengths on the CT side.
This is a curveball coming out from Alexi B's buy. Mac 10, interested to see what he has in store for us here with that weapon. There are actually no players on Heroic with helmets.
So, that's a good point.
This is a little
They need
scary.
to give him a reason not to use it.
Yeah, that's true. They haven't been saving enough econ to upgrade. But good counter
There are
smokes.
5 smokes up around A right now.
Yeah, there's good counter smokes here on the side of Heroic that stop whatever play OG had in mind in its tracks. And
I love this.
O's down. Great forward position right now. How many can he find from here?
They're all waiting for the Mac 10 guy.
Yeah.
Go first, dude.
They'll definitely send Alexi B first on this kind of push. And will he find anything? Oh, Down. He's able to find 2 kills, actually, and he does so much damage on top of that. This is actually such a good look for Heroic here. They have no nades left, but their positions and firepower should help them out tremendously. But still, on the side of OG, there's quite a few Molotovs, but they're just challenging into the bomb site. Testis is there to greet them. And will they even expect this player in emo is the real question. Or will he even have to do anything? Borup, still there. It doesn't even matter. Just down to Montu. And spamming through the smoke is Nico. All right.
Okay.
Well, Heroic didn't even have to show their whole hand there, and were able to come out with the victory.
I think strategically speaking, the response from OG there was really, really good. I actually think what OG did was perfect. It's just that Heroic, they like that Storm getting 2 kills here is actually so mad. It's just that instant snap there and 2 bullets hitting Valde in the head, pretty insane. But challenging that banana control that Heroic had, that was like perfect. A must to do that.
That was perfect.
It was so yeah, it was just the best thing OG could have done. But well played by Heroic. They need rounds like that.
They need heroic plays.
Yeah, and this is like their 3rd gun rounds, basically, their full gun round.
Can we mute his microphone for 5 minutes?
Don't be jealous,
That
Chad.
dry ass joke. OG trying to swing towards the site pretty early. Cadian's able to take out the first player. He's got a crossfire with his teammate, but things could get difficult, although depending on how OG come out here, but it's very awkward if the smoke's up inside the apartments. Nico will find 2. Testes trying to help his teammates out. It's pretty difficult for all concerned now. Caden's lost his backup for the time being. Borup's on the way, and we got Storm top mid now, so it's really rough for OG. You can spray through that wall. Caden continues to jiggle, trying to bait the players, trying to get that information early, but misses his shot, can't make a fatal connection. Storm's creeping up short though, and that leaves Alexi B alone, and the trades will continue in favor of Heroic. Another much needed round for them.
Cadian did such an excellent job to stay alive there. It's such a weird position for an Opper. In fact, I would consider it a bad position for an Opper. But he recognizes the situation, knows that he needs to buy time for those rotates, and that's exactly what he did. He enabled Testis and Borup to just sit around that bomb site and or rotate into that bomb site, find good angles, and man, that's some selfless play coming out of the IGL. You gotta respect it.
You gotta assess the situation. You do.
Yeah, Heroic, they're showing some life here in the last couple rounds. They can swing this back to an 8-7. Has to continue here, but that double entry will not help. Valde and MBK both connecting while blind, and it's just Borup tries to make the monster play there, but it doesn't work in his favor. Now Heroic, ooh, you'd think they would maybe save here. There's another round to be played in this half. They try to desperately swing it back, but it does not work out.
They must have forgot.
Yeah, I felt like they were playing as if that was the last round of the half. That's so weird, but maybe they thought there was a timing of sorts, and
They're a little ambitious.
that is a way to describe that.
I mean, the round's not ideal, obviously. They opt to get no kits. That is a mistake, I think. You should have at least 1 kit, right? It's like a pistol. You need 1 kit as a CT.
Yeah, usually someone takes the hit and just buys it. Alright. Heroic here looking rather dire. OG have been in firm control of this half. And it looks like it'll be a slower approach coming out from the OG side towards Banana. Ooh. This is an interesting play from them. It looks like they want to go for some kind of Halls pop of sorts as they take that early Banana control. It keeps Heroic with 2 players at B, and that's exactly the whole purpose of that early Banana start from them, because it really enables this play. You know that there are likely only a couple players that are defending this position, and we'll see what they're able to get done. Nico, though, from the pit is able to find 1. Oh, but Issa with the 3K off the balcony. What snappy shooting from him. And this is looking so good for OG here, with the capping off a dominant first half.
Issa, when he gets on fire, man, that guy is nuts.
Yeah, he's got potential for multi-fragger of the week. Definitely in the top 3. Answers on the postcard. Borup and Cadian remain on this retake attempt. Last round of the first half. Got to go for it, as bad as it may be. And then there was one, Cadian with the Mag 7 in a 1 versus 3 with no kit. I don't know about these statistics, man.
If he had a kit,
Trying to make his way forward.
If he had a kit, I think
he
would have had it.
You think he wins it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll never know. OG make it to 10 rounds. We'll see if they can make it to 11 after the break.
Very good time.
For OG. And we're back. OG looking hot in that first half. Alexi B buying a couple of flashbangs to try to keep the fire going. Set up his teammates nicely. We'll see what he's able to find. Looks like it'll be a banana setup between these players. And oh, Montu, the recipient of those flashbangs. And oh, he's looking for more, actually. Finds a third kill in the round already. It's just down to Stone and Katie in here. But NBK's lying in wait, and he's able to capitalize off that great positioning. Just Cadian now in a 1v5.
OG making me look smart right now. I love it.
Cadian.
Cadian.
Dead.
Cadian.
He's dead now. Lamenting his choices. But he spawned again.
He
Spawned
got
anew.
another
He's
chance.
come anew.
He's a chance to redeem for his sins.
Yeah, OG are in such a strong position. It feels really bad at this point, looking at how this series has gone for Heroic, because it feels like there's not ever been a spot where Heroic, where I felt like Heroic were really taking an initiative, and OG are like, oh crap, we have to react to this. It never really felt like Heroic have kind of put their mark on the game in a strong enough way, but there's always time to recover, and we'll see if they can do something with this balcony pop. The Halls pop is sometimes quite dangerous. We'll see what positions OG have here on the side to deal with it. MBK's in the pit. There's great coverage from his teammate Issa, but Issa's unable to really help him out to a large degree, and it seems like this whole pop will actually result in a bomb plant. It's not bad here for Heroic. OG on the retake mission. They don't have much utility for this. That's a pretty huge kill, though, for Alexi B to get. He now presents a risk, a threat towards the apartments as well, even though he's not going in that route.
Oh.
Mac 10s and Tech 9s. There goes Man2, and Alexi B will fall as well. Good hold there from Heroic. Off the back of a horse pop, a simple horse pop.
Man, OG was almost ready for that as well. I don't know if it was MBK or Issa, but they missed the nade in Halls and it bounced backwards. If that nade landed at the time that they wanted, half the team of Heroic would have been at like 50 HP.
Yeah, I think it was NVK as he was falling into the pit position.
Yeah.
That is, I know.
The game of inches right there. You just a little mess up, little mistake.
Just a pixel to the right or left, whatever it
and
was.
you lose. You lose.
If we made some kind of measurement, like some kind of computation that would indicate a round for a particular team as being an unlikely round to win, I feel like today, yesterday, we've seen so many unlikely rounds won, like force buys, pistols, and so on. I feel like we've seen so many of these rounds won recently, just like resets after pistol and so on. I feel like it's way more than I feel like I normally see. Got a big rap from Heroic. Kind of reminds me of the, well, it essentially is almost the old Fnatic strat where they would wall off the entire front of the site and put that deep smoke in. Not quite, but close enough.
I just saw a team use that yesterday. Was it Godsent?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They ran with 2 pistols around the back, and
Devil Walk team.
yeah.
I remember when I first met Devil Walk, right? There was this, there were these events in London called Fnatic Forever at the Meltdown Bar. And afterwards, I asked him if he could show me one grenade, which I saw him do, and he was drunk at the time, so he showed me about 42 grenades. Because he's that guy on the team who knows every single grenade. So it was literally, I was like, man, you can do this, and you can do that, and if you come over here, you can do this. It was amazing. He's a really nice guy.
How many of those do you remember?
Well, it was old Inferno, so now probably 0.
All that time just wasted.
James, you said
Like sand
Too many
in the
grenades
air.
out there.
you said 42, and why did you pick that number?
You know why.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know why
I
I
know
picked-
why you picked that.
You know why I picked 42.
I don't know. Normally, if you ask somebody to pick a number between 1 and 50, they'll often say 37 for some reason, but I don't know why 42.
42 is that Hitchhiker's Guide to
the
the
meaning.
Galaxy answer to the universe.
Never
Yeah.
seen it, never read it.
Great books. So if you like reading, check out
Come on,
those
man.
books.
Douglas Adams, famous British author. Come on.
He's hilarious. I like his,
It's
his
national
dry
treasure.
British humor.
My favorite author is Tupac.
He's a poet.
Oh.
I like
Okay. Wasn't a good look going in this round for OG, but finding an opening kill can be big for their opportunities, and see if they're able to capitalize. This is oh man, this actually might work out for OG. We have 3 players at this B bomb site here, and this stack between Valde and Alexi B. If Valde's able to find one, that might just do it.
But he has the USC to get out of here with that.
Pretty clean here. Heroic is finding a lot of strength now, just picking the right rounds, executing it with confidence. That's what you need to see.
And they're keeping it simple. They're just sending
Yeah.
people towards the choke point, scaling well, using the fundamentals. Basic. Being basic. It works sometimes.
You can't spell fundamentals without fun, Eric.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Alex, you're a reader. We got ourselves a reader. Who's your favorite author of books?
Chris Hedges? I don't know. I read nonfiction a lot, so I don't.
Well, there's still authors involved in nonfiction.
Yeah, that's a nonfiction author.
There you go.
He's pretty
Glad
solid.
we established that. Glad we established that.
Made the connection there.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. Actually, Dave Eggers probably. Dave Eggers is pretty good.
I've not heard of this man.
He kind of does nonfiction, fiction-ish things. Yeah.
Nice.
What is the What? I think might be my all-time favorite novel. Or yeah, it's a excellent story about a man's journey through. What was he? He was leaving Somalia, and he became a medical professional in America.
Nice.
I think in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff like that. Kind of
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did he turn into a CIA agent? Sleeper cell?
No, it didn't go that far. It's just about his journey.
Oh, okay.
No CIA, no interest from Eric. Needs some CIA conspiracy.
Need some controversies. I need people confused.
Well, we've got OG and Heroic here. It feels like OG are starting to lose some of the confidence, and Heroic starting to gain some of the confidence. We'll see if they can continue that momentum in this round as well. The Danes have forced OG to play really passively, and that's also partially, of course, by choice from OG, but we'll see if OG can find the info play they need. They have a stack towards B at the moment, which, interestingly, OG, they're doing these stacks blindly, so they actually had 3 at B for the longest time, but now they actually rotate that player around to A because they just have seen nothing, so they just don't really know what's going on. And that's just how they're just deciding. This is just how they're deciding to play this particular round, forcing Heroic to execute, and they will on the B side.
Elixir B and Valde. Elixir B has a smoke. He's holding a smoke out. You can see he's waiting to bounce it off the wall. That will be a great response. He's able to drop his flashbang in as well, and he's still alive, hiding in plain sight for a time. The storm will take him out. Now the effects of that flash have come and gone, and there's no more multi-frag for Valde. 3-on-3 retake with no utility remaining for OG. So there's no smoke for Banana or anything. It's a nice tag through the smoke, but not enough to give them a man advantage.
Yes, it's pretty doable even without the utility in this 3v3. To see what they can do though. That position at the back of the site is quite annoying, as that player can occupy a lot of attention and just doesn't even need to peek very much. Minimal peeking. Just the presence is just the threat is greater than the action, as the Wolf would say. And looks like indeed Heroic are going to be holding on to this one unless Matu doesn't have time at this point. They're going to try to chase him down. Great fragging there from Matu. The flick comes through. Doesn't exactly work out for him, and that's going to be another round for Heroic. This one's a bit more expensive for them, but they've generally had a lot of success, so they're fine on the money. But you can't say the same for OG, and it looks like Heroic are pretty close to tying this one up now.
Yeah, I think OG needs to call timeout, really assess the situation in terms of what to do. I think giving up too much of the banana might be a little problem for OG, or maybe somewhere else on the map where they should be a little more proactive, in my opinion. So at least to get Heroic not able to walk up and use 18 utilities towards one bomb site.
James, who is your favorite author?
I don't have one anymore. Well, I used to say Alexandre Dumas because I like the Three Musketeers.
Have you read the Three Musketeers?
I read it loads of times.
What?
Like,
Just, you know, just James, just don't want to take anything.
Don't take it for granted.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, it's just a simple question. Okay.
You know, for anyone else, it'd be a dick move, but it's probably a reasonable question for me. But no, I read it loads of times. But my friend bought me the Count of Monte Cristo for a birthday a long time ago, but it's very hard to read. There's just a lot of
words.
It's just very blocky text.
Underrated movie, The Count of Monte Cristo from 2001 or something like that.
Was it a 2001 version of it?
Oh yeah, it's amazing actually. It's actually really good.
Who's in it? Who's in it?
The guy from Point of Interest. I don't know his name. And Henry Cavill. He's like 15 or 16 in that movie.
Oh really?
And what's that guy? The guy from Memento.
I'm looking at the director, and he also directed Waterworld. Dude, so I'm a little bit skeptical.
You know, stop judging other people by other works. That movie's amazing. I'm telling you right now.
Porno?
Waterworld, yes.
Kevin Costner. That's a classic, James.
Sounds like a porno.
Waterworld.
Therefore, it must be a porno.
Kevin Reynolds, director of that one.
Who's the guy from Memento?
You can't remember? Huh?
I can't remember.
Huh?
I can't remember. I'm on camera.
The irony.
You put me in front of camera and then I can't remember anything. This is how it goes.
Do you get the joke though?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, cool. Because when you said that, I was like, I don't know if he.
Oh, I got it.
That's good. I
was playing along.
Nice. Well, 10-11 as Heroic are really, they're climbing back. They are climbing back. OG need to find a way to take initiative in this game. They've been playing really passively, and that's not really worked out super well for them so far. This is another really passive round ultimately, but that said, they do have banana control, so it's warranted that's the information game satisfied. So they know that they can stack 4 towards this A site. Heroic need to make OG respect the fact that they can go back to B, so if they could just even flash banana, that could help create a timing window where OG might send a rotator back to B to make Heroic's life a bit easier. So we do have, is it flashbang with the wall? There we go. That's what you have to do. Okay, so now this could create a timing whereby OG have to respect, and indeed you see the rotation coming through now. So now they can go back to A, having just thrown a flash. I just want to highlight how simple it has to be in terms of the pressure and how much of the impact has happened on the rotation for the CTs. Teams often don't do this, and they just walk into 4 players when you don't have to do that, because look at what's happened off of a simple flashbang.
Yeah, that's an excellent telling of it. Just the rotations for OG come out. It baits so much utility as well. OG have only an HE left in this round, and now they don't have anything. And it looks like the pinch will come out for Heroic. 3 players on this OG bomb site now will have to hold off 5 from Heroic. And as this smoke dissipates, oh, that's an excellent flash to get them involved. And Borup comes up huge with a 2K onto the bomb site. Wow, that was so well played from Heroic.
It's really satisfying to see
terrifying to watch
a team do the right
with
thing.
10 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, it was scary. They used all the clock, but they used it perfectly.
And that's the thing, like, if only more teams realized, like, understood the macro element there, where it's like, you know, you could, because you can almost give the CTs the banana control, and it's actually can be beneficial because what you can do is you can create an anti-timing for them with the pressure like Heroic did, whereas like actually now you take that control away in the moment where the CTs need the info the most. That's when you threaten and take it away, and then that allows you to actually have the element of surprise. So even if you have even if the CTs have the banana control, you know, you can give that to them and have a late round where you have more utility because they invested all of the utility in that banana control, and it's just such an important fundamental that's often missing.
Yeah, I think to keep going on this tangent, nerding out a little bit.
Yeah, it's nerd out.
I think the way that Na'Vi were able to own the meta for an instance was that Boomich took it even a step further, that he would just play with that MP9 on the corner. Basically, he could get flashed off, but still just re-aggress because he has an MP9. He's fearless about it, and just hold that smoke the entire time until they're actually really approaching that bomb site. It allowed Na'Vi to play with 4 towards A, and those kind of little just gaming the game on top of it all is why they were able to succeed in a brief instance.
Yeah, like exploiting the meta.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really important. It's a really good point. We'll talk about Boomich in a moment, actually, because I think that's a really good guy to highlight. That said, OG have lost top banana. There's a lot of players here for Heroic. You'd expect their timing to be pretty quick because they doesn't seem like they're interested in going for a default top mid take. So if that's the case, normally I think you would expect to see a set piece just come fairly quickly after the pressure, because you don't want to wait too long, give the CTs time to figure out what's happening. That said, they're gambling towards B, so maybe it doesn't really matter here for OG. They want to gamble with those rifles. They've left only MBK with the AWP on the A site. Interesting choice. Oh no! That's such a shame for MBK. I think he would have kept the AWP alive had he hit that.
Oh, Heroic.
Looks like he was on and then kind of went off.
They still go into the stack though, and it looks like it works out for them anyways. All right. Well, it looks like just Heroic could do no wrong in this round.
Eric, who is your favorite author?
I don't have really a favorite author. I just like a bunch of books.
What's your favorite book?
I mean, I was actually a really big fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but
Nice.
let's see. Recently, what's a book that I've read? My God, put me
I
on
like the
spot.
dictionary.
You like the dictionary? Yeah, that's a good book. You learn a lot.
Who wrote that?
Practical.
Who wrote that book?
No, but seriously, I do because like I want to read the whole thing, expand the vocab, you know.
It does help.
Right.
But I feel like, you know, if I ever go to prison, I'll do it. But since having not been to prison, I just, you know, haven't found the time.
He's just saving it. Like, we'll return to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. The things that James is going to save for prison.
All right.
We got the Halls pop coming through now from Heroic, diving out towards the wagon. It's going to be really successful, actually. 3v3 off the bar now possible, although Valde will strike there, and it might make life a little bit difficult because these CTs are already attacking the site. The bomb's only now just going down. Can Bob recover in time? He can't. It's up to Nico. There's one. We know how good Nico is. The second headshot comes through. 1 versus 1 against Mantu. He is the boss of OG with that AWP in hand. Oh, the spray is labored. Mantu survives somehow in Moto, stuck away in that crevice. But Nico will finish him off, and Heroic pick up an important round. What a sick showing from Nico.
Ace.
Oh, man.
Where's the crown? There we go.
Let's go.
Let's go. I can't believe, actually, Heroic won that round, to be honest. That was a pretty impressive play by Nico. I think OG just scaled pretty poorly towards that 2-on-3.
We might have like a proper series now. It feels like Heroic is finally starting to show up. They're having this like awesome comeback. Nico, he's one of the guys that we really look to be a star rifler for them. Hits an ace. And right now they're 13-11. I feel like the energy on Heroic's got to be so insane right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Nico also, on top of that, sitting on 16K. So Heroic will have buys for the rest of this game, actually, pretty much. If they just get a couple of bomb plants, they could go all 30 rounds and have some sort of purchase in them. And on the other hand, OG just going to be on the half buy here. And it's not looking too pretty for them. Heroic may have a chance to run away with this one here off the back of a stellar performance from the other Nico.
Nico, another opening kill. It's like the worst thing in a round like this for OG. Losing a player early like this is the worst thing. You really want to make it super difficult for the Ts to find the first pick. And if you have a lot of players left towards the end of the round, that's when you can convert these rounds like really well. But in situations like this, it becomes too many holes and not enough ways to hold them.
Have you ever heard the book Shantaram?
Shantaram?
Yeah.
What's that?
I've read that.
About?
That's a really good book. Actually, I think you might like it, Dan.
What's it? What is
It's
it?
about a guy from Australia or New Zealand, one of the two places, who escaped prison and took refuge in India. So some like white guy in the 70s living in India, and he becomes a gangster. And it's a true story.
Blasted on heroin as well.
It's a true story. Well, I want to save some tidbits for the book, but
It sounds like...
it's a true story, and it was written pretty well. I was enticed the entire time.
Were you taking notes, James? When you read that one?
I was not taking. I think it's a true story until it gets towards the end, and I'm kind of like, I'm not so sure about this.
I mean, maybe
I enjoyed the story.
Maybe some things could be fabricated. I mean, it's a who knows, really, right?
We've been talking about prisons a lot.
I'm like, you're probably high when you think this bit happens. Probably high in a ditch somewhere.
You're on the black tar, It's not a good look.
Yikes.
Yeah, we've been mentioning prisons a lot.
Well,
That's
I mean, it's not
Problem
us.
we need to fix.
James was the one who brought up prison, reading the dictionary. He's
true.
saving the dictionary reading for prison time. 14-11 now for Heroic. And they are looking super good right now. Everything's going their way. And it felt like it just happened. It just suddenly it just started happening. And that's just the way it is in Counter-Strike, right? There's just a round where things start to click, and it seems it just creeps up on you. It really does.
I think the thing to take away is how meek the OG team is playing their CT side. It's like this may be the first round they actually fight back a little bit on Banana. Valley put a flash and gets the kill on Stun. 2 kills coming out from OG.
Oh!
okay.
Wow. Through the door. Love to see it.
You love doors.
Big fan of doors. Cadian and Borup left in the 2 versus 4. They only have 2 to deal with on this site, but it might be difficult to maneuver around these smoke. Alexi will give some info haze. Got to be really careful. He's able to actually fall back, and Heroic makes some running noises, maybe suggesting they're doubling back, but it looks like maybe they even are. Or maybe they're not even sure what they're doing right now. 2 versus 4, do they want to hold on to these guns? Their money is amazing, so you actually would want them to go for damage here, at the very least. And they re-exec into the site, dropping that CT smoke. Borup, looking to maybe Molotov, but there's a guy shooting him. It's awkward. Very awkward.
All right, well, just about everyone from OG is here at this point. This will make the take extra difficult. Issa just swinging with ultimate confidence, just takes out the final 2 and says, I don't know what games you guys are playing at Banana, but I'm here to end it.
Yeah, don't play games
Very
with them.
hesitant.
Don't play games with them.
I think with a certain amount of time, you've got a fair chance at a 2v2, whichever site you choose to go to. But as that went on, it just became more and more awkward for them.
Yeah.
But indeed, they have money in the bank. So on to the next
what
one.
is this
Cadian's bought a
buy?
P90.
Wait a
that
minute.
has got...
3.
Wait. Triple P90?
Banana Rush.
This is some kind of next level abacus maths.
It's the Mega Banana Rush. Let's go.
So CLG Red used to run this back in 2016.
Oh no, it's...
They trolling? What's going on?
I can't believe
Oh.
this is real life.
Is this working or not? I just
It's
can we just
not.
cut to the chase?
No, it's not working down. It's not working.
Oh, man, the nades were too good.
Because if it works,
But they have so much money.
yeah, it's... Yeah.
Imagine if they lose the
Because
map,
you could move faster with a Mac 10. I'm pretty sure.
but you don't have 50 bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Pure fury coming out.
Yeah, but
The-
I mean, Molotov and an AK.
the jumping Mac
Robert
10
has.
is so strong, actually.
When's the last time you used a P90? How many years?
After I picked it
That's
off
so-
of CLG Red player's body.
That's my point. It's been
But
a
like
while.
at 14-12, why wouldn't you just have a full buy with AKs as rifles? They've got the money for it. I don't understand
They want
why
highlight video.
this is like
I
this
mean-
late into the round. You want to take this risk?
I get it from the sense that if you're thinking, if we win banana, we get 2 kills, upgrade the guns, and we take that we basically win the round if we win banana. I
Yeah.
think that's maybe the idea there, and so that they're banking everything on the banana rush, but they got completely stopped
The
by
call-
the utility.
Yeah.
It's strange because I feel like they just gave a full buy round away.
To a
Because
certain point.
is that like a lack of faith? Is that like a lack of faith in your normal buy round and taking banana? Is that because you're failing with AKs, or is that because you think there's
I
an
think
exploit to be had there?
Sure
I think they had good spawns, and I think they wanted to just rush, and I think they wanted to hold mouse 1 down and keep pressing W, and for its fast
that really
timing.
didn't happen.
It's not the
No,
first
then
time
they
they've
stopped
run
the fast
that.
timing.
It could have looked great if they found if it were OG instead of playing a 3B setup at the very beginning. If it were just 2 and they didn't have that extra utility,
Yeah.
it really could have worked in their favor. But that extra player from OG ensured that banana would be taken, and
I think they
that's where
needed.
it falls on its face.
I think they needed a smoke on the half wall that they could have run through with a flash.
The Kerrigan
because
smoke.
Exactly, the Kerrigan smoke is precisely what I was thinking of. That is exactly what they needed to make that work.
Yeah, that would have definitely helped them out. Now it's looking like a flat default coming out from Heroic here. They have very little space in the map. Just now taking bracket a minute into the round, and it's not even really safe at this point. Montu still fighting this position off, and oh man, this would be such a shame if OG are able to find some life off of that.
You know, Heroic fans are really upset.
Yes.
You know, they're really upset right now. They could have had the match in the bag. Well, not in the bag, but if
It's-
you see P90s, people see red.
It's it does feel like they had this read that like they can get this quick kill, this quick pick, with a fast timing on banana. But I think there's okay, so they're getting wrecked here. Tessus is not going to be able to do much. I was about to kind of segue back into this round, but Tessus might win this 1v1 there, but no. But I think that maybe also lacking the Kerrigan smoke, yes, but also it might be the case that it's 1 P90 too many. It might maybe be the case that if you've got 3 P90s, the whole point is that they're running and shooting. Then that's 3 people that aren't able to like actually use their nades
Yeah,
there.
I think it's just so ambitious to use 3.
Yeah, 3 is unnecessary. 2 at most.
Two SMGs could have made it happen, especially if they're Mac 10s and they could just jump over the half wall and find a jumping headshot or something ridiculous.
It's like the only one that's truly necessary is the guy that is having like the Mac 10 for breaching the half wall that's smoked, so that you have the guy that's jumping and might get a kill, and creates a space for the AKs to come out. But that's normally how that goes.
That might piss off OG. You know, like you guys are gonna
it's a fire underneath
us.
them.
You're gonna disrespect us in a match like that.
And I was mentioning how it looked like Heroic were set up to have gun rounds for the rest of this game, but that was if they found a couple bomb plants. They have found none for the last few rounds. That makes things so difficult for them. If they lose this round, it might just be the match, because Stown won't have a bye, Cadian will have a kind of messed up bye, the other 3 will be all right, but Heroic have to treat this round with the utmost care. At least find a bomb plant.
Well, it's a slower start at least. It's very defaulty. Oh, Nico finds Issa straight away.
Wow.
That's a great start. Such a good start. Through the door as well, I think it was. Double HE there to the half wall. That's scary. Very scary indeed. But the 5 versus 3 now as Cadian gets the pick towards the... Actually, where was that pick? Looking for the
There's
X
one
on the
B.
radar there.
Banana? Yeah, banana. Or
Nana.
top B, I think.
Nana. It's a full gamble stack onto the A site, so OG is still going to have a good defense here, but it's all on this initial contact.
There are 2 flashes. We'll see if on for the CT, but there's no time because there's a T flash. They've seen Valde. I'm pretty sure he's going to get taken out completely. NBK looking for the multi-frying on the balcony, not going to happen. And Heroic will get to game point. Now, there is money for OG to buy here. So it's going to be a competitive potential final round 30 at the least. I'll not get that P90 round out of my head for a while.
A lot of people won't.
What other crafts are you going to pick up
To me,
in
it's
Prisoner,
just
James?
it's just never mind the craft stand. Let's focus on the game point here. I feel like for me it makes more sense earlier, but I don't know. Maybe we could talk about it later. Man 2 is going to be hopping up to take an angle on Banana. He can get flashed off, of course, from the T stairs, which Cadian looks like he's doing. That is the exact flash. So that'll give them some idea as to the makeup of OG, as they don't look to push Banana just yet.
Heroic in the previous round found some early picks. It seems like OG are pretty committed in playing very passively here. There's a problem with that because they still have 3 smokes, but they don't really have utility to stop a push if Heroic go for a really late round play. And OG also aren't playing for information. That's pretty mad.
I like that
Cadian's
move.
alive.
I like that move.
You never see that one.
That's awesome.
Cadian hasn't
Sometimes
done
on
that for a
cash.
while, I don't think. He did that on Rogue, I remember, but I haven't seen that look on Heroic for a minute. NBK and Issa, though, they'll have to connect at this A bomb site. They have a nice crossfire for this porch position and to deal with this oncoming Heroic push. It's going to be coming in hot. 4 up the first up, but NBK's only able to find 1, and Stown and Nico connect with 2. Heroic look to end this game in regulation. 4v3 post-plant for them.
No utility for the retake here for OG. They're going to have to do it off of the shots, but the problem is that, oh, that's a nasty kill through the smoke. The main problem is that without the incendiaries to deposition these Ts, the setup looks very strong on the trades. Oh, the creep there. Valde will go down, and it is just on Mantu. And as good as Mantu is, there is really, I don't think, much of a chance to do anything here as he tries to find the first pick. It's going to be Nico to take him down. 16-14, Heroic. They actually find a late comeback, a resurgence in that second half after a struggle on the first map. And even after the comeback, they had a moment where the struggles looked like they may persist. They actually take it 16-14, tying up the series and forcing us to a third map.
Yeah, that was really stellar stuff from them. Makes you wonder if they could have closed it out earlier if they didn't go for that P90 buy, but I'm sure we can talk about that more.
Yes.
Nah, I don't want to talk about that one. We'll just throw it on the rug. It's gone. It's over.
Well, I'm the host, so I get to decide, and we'll find out what I decide after the break. I'll see you in a moment.